48 hours, 3 days maximum to get this stuff. It's Wednesday. All right, by Friday, I'm going to have my business.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
All right. Cool. So yeah, I was just kind of introducing the topic, Derek. Mentioned that one of the things that we see most often in the questions in this group, which is exactly why we ask those questions, is, do you have an agency, or what brought you to this group? And we see so many people saying that, they are thinking about it. They, are planning to start one, coming soon. But it's just such a great business to start. It's a lot easier than you think to really get things up and running. That's why in our course, literally the boxes that you need to check on getting your agency started is meant to be completed in 48 hours or less, so that you can put all the housekeeping behind you, basically be stood up. There's a checklist that takes you through everything that you need to do, plus the inner circle to get you started. But the reality is, that's one tiny piece of the greater course as a whole, because it's really easy to really get started with the agency. So wanted to talk about it. That's what this conversation today is about, is what is the bare minimum that you need to be in business. And that's exactly how Derek and I started our business. We said, what's the minimum capital investment? What are the simplest steps that we can do? And, where do we go from here, right? What's up, Nick? Welcome on, man.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for joining. Yeah, totally. I think it's just a common thing that we see where people are basically, you're in this group or you're in several groups like this. You've either taken a course or you haven't taken a course. You've been doing the YouTube rabbit hole game on learning, and maybe you even have a client or two, or we just see a lot of people, they just don't realize how quickly you can get something up and off the ground with zero to little capital, as long as you know some basic things about business, how to get things started, and you're a little bit creative with your approach. We were able to get our business up very, very quickly with minimal investment, just enough to cover the legal costs and get the website up and running. And you can even get started without a website, but I think today we just want to go over a few things that maybe are misconceptions that people think that they need. As a business owner, and I felt like this way too. I was working a sales job, making a great income, and owning a business was always something I really wanted to do. I just felt like I needed to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital saved up to invest in a building or property or something that's already functioning where I need to buy a business. I never really fully realized how cheap and how quickly you can get this started. So this is definitely for all those people that want to get something off the ground. They've been thinking about it, but they're either saying, I don't know enough yet. I'm not an expert in the field. Maybe I need to do a little bit more research before I feel confident enough to sell this stuff. I want you to get rid of all of that. That's just complete garbage and junk. Get it, throw it away, start fresh. You can start a business today, this week, and we're going to dive into some of the bare things that you need to make it happen.
Yeah, and one other thing that's just important to mention is the margins are ludicrous on social media marketing. It's not like you're taking out a $500,000 loan to open a Jimmy John's franchise where 85 cents of every dollar that the business makes goes to the materials to make it, as an example, right? Or, most, even trade businesses or, any e-commerce, and drop shipping companies, like there's so much of it is marketing costs. And, when you have a few simple sales tactics and a couple easy client acquisition strategies, even when you start hiring a team, which we teach in the course, you can still keep your margins huge so that you take home a tidy sum, a great amount of, every dollar that you sell as an agency, and start putting that team into place around you, and you can grow very, very quickly. So really wanted to mention that as well. Not only can it be a cheap business to start, it's, a great model where you're delivering these services for the long term.
Awesome. So for the person that's just starting, they're not sure where to start, or maybe they do and they just need to hear it again to just know how real it is. What's step one for somebody like that?
So step one is, first of all, telling yourself that you can do it, right? There's so many different ways to self-educate on this stuff. You can buy a course that literally teaches you, and the big thing, we're not going to pitch the course throughout this entire, live here. There's a lot of different places online that you can, learn how to start a business like this. The beauty of a course in mentorship, though, is it turns, months and years into days, right? You have a done for you platform. You have a $750 investment for the time being before the price goes up, where you get access to the videos, you get access to the checklist, everything that we learned, everything we had to figure out ourselves from kind of the school of hard knocks, figuring out invoicing platforms, all these different things, like how to actually deliver services and whatnot. That's the beauty of a course. But the first thing that you need to do is tell yourself that you can do it, and then tell yourself that you're not going to quit until you start being a successful agency owner. You already have enough skills to manage social media for clients. It's not that hard. When you start talking about, higher margin stuff like Facebook ads, email marketing, all that stuff, you want to have like an education on that, and that's what courses are for. That's what, a complete hodgepodge of YouTube videos and, a lot of self-education can get you. But you, as somebody who's grown up with Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter and other platforms, already have enough skills to start getting a couple clients to pay you just to post and manage the social media. So as soon as you come to that realization and that understanding, it becomes a lot easier to start putting the wheels in motion to make great money managing social media for clients.
Yep. And so once you've decided, hey, this is something I'm going to do, the first thing you need a name, right? You need to come up with something for your business. And I think a common theme, and I mentioned this yesterday on a video, is just momentum. So keep that at the forefront. Any of these things we're going to talk about, we never want you to get hung up on. This is just check it up, check the box, get the name going. You can always switch out a name later. You want to make your LLC is going to be your holding company, but you can always do business as another entity. And I would recommend starting general and maybe not necessarily having a name that's going to confine you to a certain niche. So, dentist marketing LLC. I wouldn't recommend doing that, especially if this is your first business. I would have a more broad name. So use your last name, or use something simple like we have Vital Traffic Labs. That's the name of our business. It's not specific to a segment. It's meant to be that we want to give you the core services that are vital to grow your business. Traffic is obviously a key part of making sales, so we have that in our name. And labs, just to make it more scientific, trendy, is how we came up with that name. So 2 to 3 words is going to basically make it guaranteed that nobody has your name. 1-word names are going to be pretty tough to find that haven't already been used. So just use a combination of your name or your initials, anything like that. But either way, the name doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just a box you need to check so you can be in business. Nobody's going to pump the brakes in the sales pitch and say, whoa, 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 unless your name is just completely offensive. Keep it clean, professional, and in general enough that you can pivot to different directions and companies. So that would be, once you've decided what to do, I would say that's the first step in moving your business forward.
And the more you say your name too, the more it's going to sound natural. It literally doesn't matter, like Derek said, at all. You're thinking of a new name, it's going to sound weird for a while. That's just a reality. Amazon wasn't a brilliant company name, guys. Microsoft wasn't a brilliant company name. Micro Center makes, it's like Best Buy. These names are now household names that everybody knows. But, at one point it was
Walmart?
Just a name that...
What the fuck is that?
No, so exactly. I mean, and we affectionately refer to our agency half the time now as BTL, which is an acronym which basically means nothing to a lot of the people that we're talking to. So, don't get held up on that. Nobody's going to say, well, I'd love to have you manage my social media, but I don't love your name, so I can't sign this agreement. So
Yeah,
like
just
Derek
don't have
said,
a douchey name is all, not, get the bag marketing or, just some kind of bro turn. Just don't do that. Just
yeah,
keep it professional, something that's going to last,
yep.
and you'll be good to go.
In worst case, if you like incorporate under, like we have a company organization, it's X Holdings LLC, and we DBA Vital Traffic Labs, and we DBA like whatever else we need to. So like worst case, if you have a stupid name and somebody down the line is like, man, do you know that your name means X in some foreign language that you never would, and you're like, oh geez, you can DBA it something else entirely, and that's perfectly acceptable. Legally it's respected by the IRS and the state, and you're good. So literally, come up with a name, incorporate your business, which is the next thing, which takes almost no time. It's a very, very small investment. There's a lot of ways to do that. Legally, we can't tell you how to do it, but a couple of ways that you can are directly through your state or wherever you live. If you're overseas, you can basically do that directly in your state, province, whatever. And for us to do it, it was less than $200, all the way through. And we just did it directly with the state. There's other ways that you can do it. You can do it through LegalZoom. You can do it through Rocket Lawyer. There are some kind of added bonuses that come with doing it that way. We didn't really need that for ourselves, so we made the business choice. Like, let's just do the cheap way, and put it behind us. We were incorporated. Then you can open your business bank account, which is the next thing. So you can take payment. That can all be done basically the same day. Like you can literally incorporate. You get your articles of incorporation and your IRS EIN, and that's your employer identification number, and it's like one step.
Yep. And yeah, like Dave said, you can use LegalZoom that'll help walk you through this process. You have to pay a fee for that, or you can do it for free, not for free, but you just don't have those extra fees tacked on through your state, which is definitely, like David said, the way that we go. From there, once you have your LLC, you have a bank account, you've got a name, you basically need a logo. What we did for our first rendition of our logo is we literally went to canva.com, went to the logo section, and just used the same type form and everything and just made our own logo, because it was a royalty-free thing that we could do, and it was fast. Since then, we've paid a graphic designer to make us, some very nice logos for our business card, our website, sign on our door of our office. But definitely, that's not something you need to get hung up on. And if you really want a nice logo, you can get it for cheap. I mean, you can go on Fiverr and get a logo uploaded for you by somebody across the world for $50. But I would recommend just making it yourself in Canva to just check the box, make it happen, and then worry about that once you have more cash, more capital, more business, before you actually really start worrying about that stuff.
Yeah, and our original, just to show you guys like exactly like how little this stuff matters in the big, our circle, or our logo, was originally a simple circle outline, which is just like a shape on Canva or Photoshop with Times New Roman text that said VTL with a period in the middle. It's like very minimal, very clean. And it's funny, so many people have like said over the years, like, wow, I really like your logo, I like your branding. And it's like, well, we're pros at this and and like little do they know that we literally made it on a Saturday afternoon when, we literally said we're not leaving this apartment until, our business is set up. And that was like, 30 minutes of effort. I have I took one InDesign, Adobe InDesign class in college. And that is, I'm pretty sure, like the collective extent of our professional graphic design training.
Exactly.
So
yeah, again, momentum, get it done. Doesn't matter. Just move on. from there, you're basically, the only thing you need is you're going to need your contract, which we have in the description of this course or this group. So you can get our statement of work or our contract for free. You can, right? Isn't it? They're able to download it directly.
Yep. Yeah. So you can grab that, download it. Literally just find and replace, our name with your name, and you're out to the races. Again, like legally you should say, have legal counsel review that. We're giving that out there as a free asset. We're not lawyers. So do with that what you will, but it should get you started and on your way to do with it whatever you want.
Yep. I would say next you need a way to take payment. So you've got your bank set up. A lot of times they'll have an invoicing platform built in. If you're using things like Capital One, they'll have partnerships or things like Bill.com that you could be using. That's a free platform. PayPal, Stripe, anything to just make sure that you can get paid is going to be essential, right?
Yep.
But again, pick something, whatever works. They can just mail you a check too. I mean, it's completely up to you and the client, however you want to get paid. If you use like credit cards, you're going to have to pay a percentage, but in the big, is that really a big deal in the beginning? No. Once you start racking up 20, 30, 40 clients, you're definitely going to want to look at some different solutions to make sure that you're not bleeding, $1 to $5 grand every month in processing fees.
Yeah, 100%. And like Derek said, I would just Google no fee checking accounts so that, you don't have to have a minimum balance, just like you would for your personal. And also be aware of like the minimum amount of cash you need to have on hand on average each month, or if they have transaction limits and stuff like that. I mean, these are all, just Google like best small business bank with no fee, and you'll find one that works for you. Just because you don't want to have to pay, to be using a bank. There's just no reason for that. So definitely, take a look at that for sure. And then like Derek said, like Stripe is free to use. It's something you can set up as soon as you have that EIN very quickly. Definitely, have like a backup like PayPal, just because Stripe, depending on how your business is set up, doesn't like marketing agencies that much. It considers them a high risk. So like having a Bill.com account or having a PayPal account as well will make it really easy so that, no matter what, you're able to take that payment. The easier you can make it for clients to give you money, the better.
Yeah, exactly. And then from this point, you have a functioning business, right? You have a name, you're incorporated, you have a business checking account, you've got a contract, you've got a way to take money. Boom, you're in business. You can open up your laptop and make shit happen. There's other things that, you're going to need to do, like building a website and make sure that you have some branded proposals and ways to attract clients, ways to target lists for lead generations, cold calling scripts, email scripts, the fulfillment of service. But I want you to think of all of that in the after fact. Get your business started, get some momentum. I mean, just the act of you doing these things on this list are going to set the wheels in motion, that you're no longer just somebody that wants to have an idea, or you're no longer a dreamer at this point. You're officially a business owner, and then take pride in that. That's your business. This is your company, something that you can put your name on. And now let's take action and start getting clients and providing good results. From there, you can, go to the SMMAblueprint.com where we lay out everything else you need to know. But this is what you need to get started. And I feel like so many, I don't know why we haven't made a video like this yet, because we hear this so much that people are just not moving forward because they're just not quite sure how to start. And maybe they do know how to start and they just need to hear it again, or hear it from somebody like us. Like, you can do this shit. You can start a business. It doesn't take a lot of money. I don't care if you live in Europe, United States, Canada, Brazil, Africa, India. I mean, we've helped people do this all over the world. you're going to have subtle nuances on, banking and payment and how you incorporate. But at the end of the day, the fundamentals are the same. Get a name, get a business incorporated, get a way to take payment, a contract, and you're ready to go. And then from there, you can just start over time layering things on, like a website. In the course, we show you how to design one, some resources for that, your sales process, all that's going to develop over time. But just the fact that you are a business owner, you're getting this stuff together is going to set up the momentum for you to be successful in the future.
Yeah. And it's all, no business owner was, a business owner before they started down that path, you're not a business owner until you are. And taking the steps to start becoming that and start seeing yourself as that type of person, the first thing that you do is you start taking action on it. You start building that momentum. Like Derek and I did not know how to start a social media marketing agency until we did, and then we just never stopped doing it. And here we are. And now we're teaching other people how to do it in way less time. But it's all about momentum. Like whatever you need to keep the fire burning, to not let, a cease in momentum be what stops you from becoming the success that you perceive yourself to be. Big thing for us was Gary V podcast. It was other podcasts. It was Derek and I constantly talking to each other about what we were building, why, what was it going to mean for our future lives? When could we quit our jobs? How much money did we have to be at to quit our jobs? Those types of discussions, and that type of positive thinking, it was what kept us going when, we'd go travel for work and then come back and have no energy, or when we'd, be grinding at our day jobs, 5 days a week. And then, it's time to do our agency services or, find more clients. And, it's 6:30 p.m. when we're tired, and we'd put Gary V on, and then he's working harder than us. So that would motivate us. And we'd be like, damn, we'd find that second wind. And, it was because of that we were able to make it successful. And you can do the exact same thing. There's no reason with how connected the world is and all the amazing content that these visionaries and entrepreneurs are putting out there, that you can't, keep that fire burning all the way to the riches that, you can find with social media marketing, period.
Yep. And if you guys are struggling and you need some help, or you just need some advice to push you in the right direction, you can DM myself or David. Both of our profiles are tagged at the top here. Just feel free, click us, send us a DM. We get a lot of messages, but we definitely respond to, I would say, most of them. So please feel free to reach out. Either one of us is happy to kind of point you in the right direction. But using the stuff we talked about today is 100% going to get you from zero to having a business up and running, ready to collect payment, ready to cash checks. And at that point, it's just, how far do you want to push this thing? Are you ready to go or not? Yep.
Yeah. So to recap, basically what you need to do, just for those of you, it looks like a bunch of people are jumping on and just kind of watching. First thing is figure out, well, first of all, you tell yourself that this is something that you can do. There's way too many success stories in this group. There's way too many other people who started this knowing nothing about social media, who've been able to do exactly what we're talking about and make it an amazing business for them that's changed their life, period.
Yeah, you need to make the decision that I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a business. I might not know all the answers. I don't have the how figured out, but I know why I'm doing this, and I know that I'm going to do this. So make that decision. That's step one.
Yeah, and figure out what that's going to mean, because that's what's going to keep you going. For me, it was, I want to be able to travel the world after I quit my job, work from anywhere. I just got back from Las Vegas last night, spent 5 days out there. Business was running itself while I was gone. Okay. Second, figure out a name. And just like Derek said, don't spend a lot of time on it. You can always change it. It's a box that you need to check on your way to getting things set up and, on your way. And then incorporate under that name. Very
momentum.
Quick, easy thing to do. Momentum. And I would set like a time with which to get all this stuff we're talking about done. In the course, we set that time for our students at 48 hours or less. There's a checklist. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. It could not be, any faster of a process, but I'd say, and if the people that we mentor, the people that we consult with that are doing like different things, we say, okay, your deadline's Friday, get incorporated, done. Get these
Yep.
things, get your banking set up. Friday's the deadline. So figure out with whatever your availability is, within 2 to 5 days, how quickly you can get this done, and don't stop at anything until it's done. We did it in a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
And we knew when we didn't have like a template that said, this is what you need to do. We had to figure all that crap out. But now so get it done.
Yeah. We knew the more time that we were wasting on this stuff, the less time we were doing activities that were going to be profitable for our business.
Yep.
So just if you're going to spend a month making a name, you're already toast.
Yep.
You're done.
Yep.
You need to decide, like David said, 48 hours, 3 days maximum to get this stuff. It's Wednesday. All right. By Friday, I'm going to have my business name. I'm going to have my LLC incorporated. I'm going to download this contract. Takes 5 seconds. We're not lawyers. Do everything at your own legal advice. Number 3, open up a business account.
Yep.
And get the invoicing set up. Get ready
Yep.
to go. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like this is so easy, and I really hope that the 5 to 10 people that are watching this right now, and the hundreds of people that are going to be watching this on the replay, if you're stuck and you've been going through the same motions and you've been peeking behind the curtain and looking at groups like this and looking at people like David and myself who have taken their business from $0 to $500,000, quit their jobs, looking at other groups, seeing people travel around the world, living their best lives, doing their thing, and just thinking like, okay, that's great that they're all doing that stuff, but that's just not something that I can buy into because of X or because of my country that I live in or my financial situation or my background or past trauma or whatever. Like, none of that matters. Like, the market gives 0 shits about any of that stuff. And as long as you play the game, you play the rules initially, and continue to provide value and keep learning every single day, and do the best that you can today for your clients, you're gonna do well. So I just hope this inspires people to take some action and set a time box on getting this shit done, and not just thinking it, in the future, man, as soon as inspiration strikes and I come up with that perfect name, then I'll start the business. Nope. That's an excuse. That's holding you back. Oh, I don't know how to make a website. That's an excuse. You don't even need one. If you can come up with 3 words, 2 words, or just an acronym, like David said, a lot of times we just call our business VTL. Like, it doesn't mean shit, but it gets the job done. Nobody cares. They care about that. We care about growing their business, and that's it.
Yeah, and like, just to give some perspective on how easy this is to get started. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like you couldn't incorporate a business online in the United States. You had to fill out a bunch of stuff that was not easy to do. You had to mail that letter to the state and the IRS. The freaking Department of Treasury for your state had to go through it, like literally file your paperwork. You'd get like a packet that said you're in business now, like weeks and weeks later, which, I mean, it's the freaking government, guys. Like, you had no idea when that was actually going to come through. Now you can go to the state right now, incorporate, give them like $120, and it's done that day, right? Like, it could not be any easier. To start a business banking account, like, there was all kinds of hoops that you used to have to jump through. Like, now you can just start one and open it as soon as you have your business incorporated. Like, you can take all your payment online. I mean, it could not be any easier to get this up and running, especially comparatively when you look back at, past generations, where social media wasn't even a thing. The beauty of social media is that it doesn't require formal education. It doesn't require certifications. Like, if you were any other kind of service-based business, for the most part, like an accountant, where you need like a decade of school, or like not a decade, but a number of years of school plus like a CPA certification exam, an attorney, you guys can charge per hour to manage social media as much as a surgeon if you know what you're doing. So keep that in mind as you go through these steps. Get the housekeeping stuff out of the way in, however few days you're possibly able to do it. Put it behind you, and like Derek said, get out there and start cashing checks. All you need to do after that is figure out like what services you want to provide. You can just post to social media, Or you can, get a course like the SMMA Blueprint, who teaches you how to run Facebook ads like a badass, how to do amazing email marketing services, how to, really take things to the next level so you can charge more, but you can get money in the door. We had our first client paying us $2,700 a month less than 2 weeks after we even had the idea to start an agency. It wasn't like we thought about it for a while and then we kind of started, toss some names around, and
we didn't even have the bank set up. We didn't have
Yeah.
I don't think we had the bank account set up. I think the letter of incorporation was still in the mail coming back to us. And I already had a client. We already pitched a client. We already closed one.
Yeah.
Within
And I was literally like, oh crap, I hope she mails the check, because if she wants to pay online, we do not have the infrastructure set up to take her money. Literally. And we're going to look like knuckleheads. And luckily she mailed the check and all was cool.
But those are the problems you want to have. You want to create that pressure and those problems by activity and action and making shit happen. And I think something that you mentioned in there too about previous generations, you need to be just super, super grateful for what we have. I mean, if I look back at my parents, at the end of the day, when they get home from a job that they don't like, that they've been working, my dad was a carpenter, my mom was a hairstylist. Like, they worked their full day on their feet, using their hands, they're tired. And all they had to look forward to was just going right back to that again the next day.
Yep.
There's no other options. But now you can get home and say, all right, let me go through this checklist that David and Derek just talked about, get some shit set up for $100, and then actually start creating a business and growing wealth. That this was just never possible. Like, if you're not taking advantage of this, I don't know what to tell you. It's just that, this isn't for everybody. Like, it's not for everybody. Some people, they want that life. They want to have that security. They want to have that 9 to 5. They want to have that predictable revenue. They want to slowly work their way up the ladder over 30 years and then retire with, money to just kind of barely make it. Like, some people want that makes them feel comfortable. Cool. Awesome. But if you want more, you want to do more things, you want to have more money, you want to have more freedom, not have people tell you what to do, the tools are there, and we just listed off all of them. And it's up to you if you want to take action and make it happen. So just be super grateful that this is even a possibility today in 2019.
Yep.
And look back at your parents, your grandparents, and really let that sink in. Like, the opportunities that they had was, just what they could shake somebody's hand and make a phone call. And, they just didn't have this internet thing. And to be able to start up a business with $100, that just wasn't a thing.
Yeah. And so to give you guys some perspective, so I mentioned I was just out in Vegas for the weekend. Awesome trip. Went out there with my best friend for our 30th birthday, and his family came, and he comes from generations of entrepreneurs. His parents own one of the largest, they process commodity goods, and in their market, they process 1/6 of the United States' commodity. So that gives you like some understanding of like their footprint and all their factories around the US. Okay. And, they're talking to me and they're like, how's business and this, that, and the other thing. And they're just like, you mean to tell me like your business is run from a freaking iPhone and a MacBook, and the only reason that you guys even have an office is because you and Derek thought that it would be nice to like see each other once in a while. It wasn't because we needed it. We do it because like we like being in the same room, but like our team, we have a call every morning at 9 a.m. Team jumps on. We talk about like what the tasks are. We have a management layer to like manage the team now. But like it's completely distributed. It's all done through these devices, and like it is the coolest business model that we have at our fingertips of all time. I'm grateful to be in this market. I know some of you guys are, kind of looking at it and haven't started yet, but it's literally this easy to get rolling, period, the end. And when you look at a business like theirs, where I can't even imagine, my best friend's going to Iowa all the time, spending, time away from home, away from his friends and family, away from his wife and his dog, who wants to spend time at, and it's because he has to go be physically present there, because that's, how that type of business is done. But we can have, life on our terms in a much bigger way, than we've been able to in the past, because of these types of businesses. It's awesome.
Yeah. I love it. There's one question I think maybe we should hit before we jump off. He said, how do you get clients in the e-com niche? I would say it's pretty simple. You can jump on LinkedIn. You can do filters for internet, and internet companies are typically filtered down by that filter in LinkedIn, to where you can actually get in front of those people, search for the owner, search for a co-founder, and you can quickly get their names. Otherwise, on the about section of these websites, you can find some information about the co-founders, founders, to get in touch with them.
Yep.
But again, it's a numbers game. Leverage things like LinkedIn, Google to start searching for these brands, and just do a little bit of, think of yourself as an investigator. Like, you're just trying to figure out, who do I talk to? How do I get their information? A lot of times it's right on their website. And if it's not, LinkedIn is how you get in touch with these people.
Yep. And if you guys want, a formula so that all that, prospecting piece of using LinkedIn done for you, where you basically just start getting calendar notifications that you're being invited to meetings for you to show up and pitch, or, if you do have a sales team, you can deploy, our LinkedIn strategies, for them, so that you can basically, get very cheap meetings that are extremely high quality, and then, pay your closer or whomever to do that sales side of the business for you. But we teach all of that in the LinkedIn course. It talks about that, different types of targeting, how to use the platform in that way. There's not a lot of fluff in that course, talking about like the nice to haves as far as it pertains to LinkedIn. It's all revenue generating, appointment setting, real autopilot LinkedIn meeting generation. And it makes it extremely easy for you to show up and do what you do best, which is move deals forward. We use it on our agency every single day. That's why our calendar is stacked. That's why we invoice between 40 and 60K every single month, because of LinkedIn and what we're able to do on that. And then all the services to keep those clients paying you high retainers, $3,000 to $10,000 per month minimum, is what you'll learn from the SMMA blueprint. So those two courses put together are, really the blueprint on, how not to only run an amazing agency, but have extremely high ticket clients that pay you a lot of money to do this for them.
Yeah, so if you guys want one-on-one help with stuff like this, like these questions on how to get these clients, or you just want the blueprint, click the link above. We've got the course at a discount right now for a limited time. And then actually, this is something that's going to be going away pretty soon, but we're still offering weekly coaching along whenever you purchase the course from us. You actually get added to our inner circle, where you can collaborate with hustlers that are trying to do the same thing as you. People like Nick, who's on this live, he started his business and actually was able to quit his job within 45 days, completely erase his income that he had from his old job, make as much money and now even more than what he was making before. So it's very inspiring. It's uplifting to be around those types of people. And then the added benefit is every single week, we actually jump on live and we'll take your questions one at a time to actually help you with whatever piece that you're having a hiccup on. Is it something of just getting your business started? Is it a question about Facebook ads? Is it a question about sales? Is it a question about invoicing, scaling? All that stuff is still included for free, which, like I said, we're going to be transitioning away from that just because, it takes up a ton of our time, and we want to offer it to the people that are early adopters that want to make shit happen quickly. So that's still a valid bonus that's just huge because, David and I combined, each of us have 10 years of sales experience. So, you're looking at having 20 plus years sales experience plus everybody else in the group helping you out. It's an interactive opportunity. It's just not a step 1, step 2 course, and then you're left on your own. You actually get a part of a group to support you. So definitely take advantage of those bonus modules while we still have them. And yeah, we'll be back on next week. Feel free to keep leaving your questions down below. David and I are very much involved in this group, and we're happy to help. And we'll see you guys next week.